What is up, my friends, and welcome to Gone Diggin. My name is Matt, and today we have a much different episode for you. We are traveling to the very bottom, well, not the very bottom, but the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean in search of mega shark's teeth. This is a super cool adventure, and I hope you enjoy it. Please consider liking, subscribing, and if you like this, let me know in the comments. I'm going to voice over this a little bit and let you guys enjoy it as we go. We are in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Wilmington, North Carolina, and we're traveling 95 foot down this white cord here to search for the Megalodon shark's tooth. And this is the deepest dive I've ever done, and it's my first time ocean diving. So you see the watch, we're at 55 feet and sinking quickly. So we've made it to the bottom of the ocean, and as soon as we get on the bottom, we start looking for teeth immediately. We don't have the lights on yet. You're going to see that in a second, but we're going to see a tooth coming up here quickly, and I want to know if you spot it. Let me know it's coming up in about 3, 2, 1. Nope, not it. Did you catch it? You may have to go back and rewind and rewatch that to see that tooth go in the bag. So the way this works is we make it to the bottom, and this is the anchor, and we're a little nervous. We've never been this deep before, but we have to clip this reel into this chain and end up kind of monkeying around with it for a little bit longer than I should have. I have my reel set up. I have everything right. And I realize, hey, Matt, just clip it right on there and get to work. So the reel keeps us on the anchor line, and the anchor line leads us back to the boat. And that's the important part when you're out in the ocean. You don't want to pop up with off the anchor line where the boat can't see you. We do have surface markers and things like that to help us be seen if that does happen. So we've got the lights on, and you can tell now we get all the color back on the ground, and we are ready to rock. When you're at 95 feet, a lot of the reds are actually out without any sort of extra light. So the helmet lights for me made a big difference and made it a lot easier to find teeth. We do have the one in the bag, but we are really excited about this trip. I had a gentleman on the boat loan me a ping pong paddle for fanning and clearing out some of the sediment. And what you're going to see now is me working through the ping pong paddle with the reel and everything else while looking for teeth all at the same time. My own version of multitasking at its best. So you do hear some noises in the background along with my grunting, and those noises in the background are actually some of the other divers, and they have motorized scooters to help them move around the bottom and also to help fan out and blow out some of the sediment on the bottom of the ocean. So I'm very easily distracted and never seen a sea urchin on the bottom of the ocean. And that one was pretty cool. It was the first one I've ever seen. And we bumped into this little guy, a little starfish. And he's super cool, and he was holding on to that piece of kelp pretty tightly. So we leave him on and go about our business. So after a few hand fans, which is that hand motion you just saw, I quickly realized that the ping pong paddle just wasn't for me. And I could move a lot more sediment out of the way just by using my hand and paying attention with my eyes than I could using that large yellow ping pong paddle. So it worked for me. It may not work for somebody else. The ping pong paddle may be better, but it was my technique, and it was really a learning process.
Oh, there you are. There's one.
So there was the first real broken tooth of the trip, and I quickly learned that if you looked for the different colors of the tooth, you could find them much easier. You'll see throughout this video I continuously check my watch for duration of being on the bottom, and I learned that was a big deal early before I went on the dive, and talking with other divers to continually check your stats and to know how long you've been on the bottom. This dive in total was only 32 minutes for the first one. We had plenty of air just with the decompression or the compression of being at 95 feet of water. You only get about 32 to 35 minutes for your first one based off of the gas that you're diving, and we were diving with nitrox.
There's one. There's one. Wow! Yeah, that's what we came for! Woo! Yes! Yeah!
That right there is just an amazing feeling to see that large of a tooth just sitting there waiting to be picked up. I didn't have a lot of other fancy equipment other than my eyes and my hands to move sediment, and man, that was just super cool. And if you stick around, I'll show you a picture of that tooth all cleaned up. Ended up being about 5.5 inches in total length. Something you might have thought was, Matt, you're 95 feet under the water in the middle of the ocean. There has to be current. There was virtually no current on the bottom, and you could lay down and stay completely still with, it was easy. But with no current meant that sediment that was stirred would not move or go away at all. So fanning meant you constantly have to be moving the sediment out the way and then blowing the sediment again with your hands once it was stirred up. So it was a lot of work. And I can see where a scooter or a motorized device would be much better. I felt like a crab when I was on the bottom of the ocean. All I was doing is just picking up rocks, flipping them over, looking at every shape and color, and then moving on to the next one. If you saw that last tooth, I just kind of got lucky. I just picked it up and realized it was a tooth, shoved it in my bag, and went to the next one. You have such little time on the bottom, you have to continually keep moving and keep looking, especially if you don't have any of these fancy tools. But if you have a sharp eye, that's the best tool you can have.
Yeah, it's great gas and it sucks.
I realized after rewatching all this footage, I didn't take any video of the scenery on the bottom, just laying on the bottom or just looking around the bottom. And I was so focused on finding a tooth while I was on the bottom, I didn't capture a lot of that. And that's a regret I have from this dive. You have to soak in the surroundings and kind of take it all in the moment and not just be so task oriented. This is the point of the dive I actually felt like I had my rhythm. Looking back at it and listening to my breathing, it doesn't sound like I'm breathing that much or I'm holding my breath, but I just felt a natural rhythm of breathing in deep and then taking it in and slowly exhaling. A mistake I did make was I was diving with two watches, and one of my dive watches was not set to the appropriate gas, though my primary dive watch was. I I corrected that mistake on the second dive, and I didn't have to mess with it at all. Many people who dive the MEG Ledge, as this area is known, will dive to a primary computer and a backup or secondary computer. And I was taking this approach as well. That's a really cool tooth. Broken, but really big, really awesome.
There we go, that's a nice tooth.
I have future plans of adjusting the camera, but for this dive, the camera's mounted in my traditional on the top of my helmet position. I feel pretty lucky to have captured this dive as well as I have. So I just look at my watch, and I've been on the bottom for 19 minutes, and I have 11 minutes left of this dive before I hit what's known as my decompression limit. No decompression limit. No decompression limit means that I don't have to stay underwater to allow my body to off gas nitrogen at 15 to 20 feet. So with this boat or this charter and the rules, I had to stay below my decompression limit of 30 minutes at this point in time. For anyone interested in taking a charter like this, I went out with Carolina Beach Scuba. They're a fantastic organization, extremely knowledgeable, more than willing to help new divers to the Meg Ledge like myself. This particular location was 28 miles offshore and is known as the inshore ledge and is the shallower of the two ledges. Absolutely amazing experience and super, super fun. If you're a scuba diver, you do need advanced open water to go out on their charter, and I'd completed my advanced open water just prior to this trip. So at this point in the dive, I am nearing the end, and I need to start reeling up my reel and making my way back to the anchor line and then slowly ascending that 95 feet to the top. But you know I'm going to look for fossils on the way out, and we're going to encounter a few troubles that I've never experienced before. Oh, I had to move that giant rock before I went. Look at my watch and realize it's time to go. So now it's time for some real magic. See what I did there? I have to reel in a different way that I'm not used to while holding this and keeping tension on the line, try not to fan it, making sure it's tight, and then because this is a new reel and new to me, I have too much line on the actual spool, and you'll see it get tangled up. So I would come to learn that there are much better reels to use than this one, even though I'd set it up to the best of my ability. My ADHD kicks in again, and I look at my no decompression limit and say, I'm just going to try to make it back to the line, and we'll deal with this later. So it doesn't seem like much, but monkeying around with a reel or picking up sea urchins or starfish will actually eat up a lot of time, especially when you have such a limited time on the bottom. That said, get the better of it, and we get everything all straightened out. And we reel in our spool, and we start working towards the anchor line. You'll notice my watch is in yellow there, and that's just stating that I'm nearing my no decompression limit. A lot of folks on this dive did this without lights or helmet lights. I was the only one with this kind of setup, and you actually see me go over underneath somebody else's reel there. But I found the lights to be extremely helpful. They added the color back, and they helped me find teeth that I think I would have probably missed otherwise. I'm not sure. I've never done this before, but we make it back to the anchor line, and smooth sailing. Let's check out some more teeth on the way up. There's another clipped in reel as we move up the anchor, and those folks had actually gone down after we had jumped in the water. The reel's all wound up, and I realize I have maybe about a minute or two that I can stay right here on this anchor line and look for a few more teeth. And that actually really panned out. I didn't have to really even leave the anchor line to find teeth or fossils. Just a lot of people did. So now it's time to leave my fossil hunting grounds and ascend to about 15 feet. Now the rule is not more than a foot per second. Looking at the wrong watch, and we're at 83 feet, working our way up. Learning or looking back in retrospect, I should have gone hand over hand and slowed my ascent down just a little bit, even though we're still within our safety margin of a foot per second. I could have done a half a foot per second and still been perfectly fine with the amount of air I had left in my tank. So I should have followed the scal's lead and gone up just a little bit slower. We passed her on the way down the line. Super nice lady, very experienced MEG Ledge diver. And if you have somebody like her on the boat, follow her lead, take her advice, and you'll be good to go. There we go. We've made our 20-foot mark, and we are with some of our friends who went down before us. And it's now it's hangout time for the next 5 minutes for a safety stop. If anyone got put into decompression, they would sit and wait for their decompression time here. But we are well within our safety margin, and we are simply doing our safety stop. We'll sit here for 3 to 5 minutes, and we will definitely fast forward this boringness. So even this feels long, but as you can tell, I got bored hanging out on this line for 5 or 6 minutes. But it's all part of the game, and if you want to do this, you got to play by the rules to be safe, so that you don't have any issues coming back to the surface. So it is time to go to the top. We've got a couple divers exiting, and we're hanging out by what they call the beach balls. This was, to me, the hardest part of the entire dive, and that's getting back on the boat in these kind of weather conditions. The boat's rocking up and down, and we are trying to get in with fins, climb the ladder with your gear, and follow the captain's instructions. He wanted me to go to the other side. I just wanted to get to the boat as quickly as possible. It all worked out in the end. So there it is. That is one dive to 95.4 feet for a total bottom time of 31 minutes. Total dive time of about 46 minutes on the Megalodon Ledge, or the MEG Ledge as it is called, on Carolina Beach Scuba's charter. An amazing charter, a great time, found lots of teeth, had a ton of fun. Even if you're not a scuba diver, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are a scuba diver thinking about going to the MEG Ledge, I hope it was informative for you and you enjoyed it. If you got any questions or anything I can help you with, I would love to. As always, thank you for watching. My name's Matt. This has gone digging or gone diving on the MEG Ledge. Either one. We'll see you next time.